Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading A Katsuki Listener by me. So let's get into it. Katsuki had no idea of any of your intentions when you went out alone this day. He had thought that you were only just going to do something very quick and be back as soon as possible, for all of your insistence not to see him and not to go with him. It was strange. Why, it's getting very late, Wyon. I thought you would want me with you. Well, I'm fine, okay? I will be fine. There's no need for you to worry, Katsuki. You tell him, and although he is worried, he just settles on not doing too much. He doesn't want to bother you, so he just leaves you to it. But then, you know what's going on. You know why you didn't bring him along. This particular meeting, it was with someone who has been following you lately. And you wanted to confront that person. You wanted to see them, to see what you could do, to stop them from doing this to you. You couldn't stand being followed anymore. The treatment and the humiliation of being just someone who was free to be followed around and free to humiliate and flirt with. You were tired, and you would fight them if you had to. That's when you met the person who started harassing you just 1 week ago, who had turned your life upside down. Maybe you should have told Katsuki about this, but the justification for it in your head was that you didn't want to bother him, and even more so, you did not want to be a cause that he thinks that maybe you're weak or something like that. You wanted to prove to yourself and him that you could take on any problem without the help of anyone else. As stupid as it may sound, it felt more relieving than having to tell him and feeling humiliated that all of this had truly happened. That's why, when you see that person, you feel the fear run up your spine and overtake your entire body. As much as you wanted to believe that you were not afraid, it was true that you were, and that could not be denied. But you were not going to let yourself stay afraid like that. You wanted to do something. You wanted to fight back, to show them that you will not stand idly by while they do whatever they want. And that's how it ended up, with you screaming at them, yelling and yelling, time passing as you were terrified of your stalker getting closer to you. And as you yelled, you did not notice your phone ringing all this time. Maybe it was due to your volume being turned down, or some other factors, but regardless, it was something that you had not predicted to happen. To see Katsuki here, glaring at the man who was getting closer to you. Just what is going on, Wyon? He says, and you can hear the anger within his voice. Katsuki, Tell me what's going on. Who are you meeting with? And why are you scared like that? You have to tell me. You can't just keep me in the dark. He says, and after some hesitation, you tell him the truth. This man, he was stalking me, Katsuki. I've tried many times to tell him to just leave me alone, but he won't listen. I didn't want to involve you. Too many things have gone wrong already, and I didn't want to bring things to such a state. You tell him, already crying, and Katsuki can't even take the look on your face anymore. He was angry, raging, and that's why he charged at the man in front of you. No quirk, no nothing. Just hurting him as much as you could, and taking it slow. After all, nothing better than drawing out that pain, if he wants to give him what he deserves. You could only watch in pure shock, and the guy could not even fight back, Katsuki was quite the person to fight with. Not to mention, he was physically very well trained. He did not fully depend on his quirk. Even without it, he could win some battles. So, as you looked at the scene in front of you, you couldn't help but feel a little bit afraid. And so you grabbed Katsuki gently, trying to pull him away. Enough. Please, Katsu. It's enough. I promise. No, Mayan. Look what he's done to you. He's hurt you. He's scared you. I can't take that, he says. And as much as you know it's true, you can't help but feel a little bit worried about him. If something happens, if anything bad happens to this person, it would be Katsuki's responsibility. And you know he's only doing this for you. So he does not deserve some life-altering thing, like going to jail over some person who's completely worthless, by the way. So that's how you held him tightly. And although Katsuki was quite reluctant, he let you. He could not be angry at you for anything that you do right now. He could not muster that. And as you looked at him, you could only hope that whatever happens, it's nothing too bad. The guy looks injured, but he's terrified. I'm sorry, ma'am. I won't follow you again. I promise, he said. And Katsuki could only look at him in pure disgust, before just shooing him away. And he ran, impossibly fast, too. And Katsuki picked you up, and you had no choice but to yelp in surprise and wrap your arms around him in return. And for some reason, despite the abruptness of the events, and how they were seeming so chaotic at the time of their happening, you couldn't help but feel safe. You were with him now, and whatever happens next, you knew it would be okay, because Katsuki had you, and you felt safe with him. No harm could be done to you, not as long as you were in his arms, not as long as he was protecting you and keeping you out of harm's way.